welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian Kingsbury. Today we're going to do another Brian Reads the News segment. This one is coming to us from Collider.com, Collider.com. It's titled 10 Essential Movies of the 90s Ranked. The 1990s were a great time for cinema. During the decade, Disney experienced their renaissance, dropping classics like Beauty and the Beast and The Lion King. On an almost yearly basis, Star Wars returned to the big screen with the release of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and stars like Tom Hanks and Jim Carrey dominated the box office. At the same time, a burgeoning independent film scene was growing, culminating in the release of all-time greats like Before Sunrise and Being John Malkovich. However, while the 90s was host to a seemingly endless list of timeless classics, there are a few that stand above the rest as absolutely essential watches. Movies that are genuinely great films, but that have also left a huge impact on the film industry as a whole. These are the 10 essential movies of the 1990s ranked based on their level of enjoyability and overall impact. At number 10 is The Silence of the Lambs, directed by Jonathan Demme. Jonathan Demme's The Silence of the Lambs is to this day the only horror film to win Best Picture at the Academy Awards. Starring Jodie Foster and Sir Anthony Hopkins, the film follows FBI trainee Clarice Starling Foster as she investigates a string of murders perpetrated by serial killer Buffalo Bill Ted Levine. With occasional assistance from Hannibal Lecter, Hopkins, an imprisoned cannibalistic serial killer with insight into the case. The Silence of the Lambs is an absolute masterclass in acting. Hopkins is appropriately menacing as Lecter, bringing attention to each of his scenes with his presence alone, while Foster is easy to root for as Starling, lending the film an engaging protagonist who is given a surprising amount of depth. Demme is also a notable asset to the film, adding a ton of suspense with his expert direction. The contributions of all three, supported by one of Hollywood's most thrilling scripts, combined to make The Silence of the Lambs an essential 90s film that everyone should see at least once. At number 9 is The Shawshank Redemption, directed by Frank Darabont. 1994's The Shawshank Redemption, a silver screen adaptation of the Stephen King novel Rita Hayworth and The Shawshank Redemption, focuses on Andy Dufresne's Tim Robbins and Ellis Boyd Redding Morgan Freeman, also known as Red, two convicts serving lengthy sentences at Shawshank State Prison. The film was a major critical success, earning itself 7 Oscar nominations, including 1 for Best Picture, while still widely being viewed as one of the best adaptations of King's work to this day. A large part of what makes Shawshank such a standout is its exploration of male friendships. Andy and Red are able to make it through the hardships of the prison system primarily because of their bond with each other. The fact that they remain loyal to each other helps them to maintain hope. Their friendship is brilliantly brought to life by Robbins and Freeman, with Freeman earning himself a number of award nominations in the wake of the film's release. The fact that it's a genuinely great drama anchored by some truly stellar performances makes The Shawshank Redemption a necessary watch for anyone catching up on their 90s viewing. At number 8 is Clerks, directed by Kevin Smith. Directed by Kevin Smith and produced on a shoestring budget, Clerks is an independent film focused on Dante Hicks, Brian O'Halloran, a convenience store clerk who becomes in on his day off. Despite only expecting to cover for a few hours, Dante ends up stuck at work for the whole day, encountering a wide variety of annoying customers, all while being pestered by his best friend, Randy Graves, Jeff Anderson, who works at the video store next door. The film became an icon of 90s independent filmmaking while also launching Smith's career. An important part of Clerks' charm is the inexperience behind it. O'Halloran and Anderson aren't the best actors in the world, but their performances feel exceedingly authentic, making Dante and Randall very memorable characters. Of course, it doesn't hurt that they're backed by some especially well-written dialogue. Smith is extremely talented at writing rapid-fire, funny character interactions that are filled with plenty of genuine heart to balance out his signature crass humor, and that skill is on full display here, despite it being his debut feature. Like many 90s comedies, it hasn't aged perfectly, but Clerks is still worth a watch, especially for any young filmmakers looking for inspiration. At number 7 is Pulp Fiction, directed by Quentin Tarantino. The sophomore film of Quentin Tarantino, Pulp Fiction is perhaps the most iconic independent film from the 90s, featuring an all-star cast including heavy hitters like John Travolta, Samuel L. Jackson, Uma Thurman, and Bruce Willis. The film was a box office hit, with Tarantino's distinct style making it an instant standout, both upon its initial release and in the decades since. Despite the fact that it was only his second film, Pulp Fiction sees Tarantino firing on all cylinders. The script is witty and engaging, enhanced by perfect casting, and each scene is masterfully shot and paced. Jackson and Travolta, who play hitmen Jules Winfield and Vincent Vega, respectively, are also notable. The two actors share fantastic chemistry, with their partnership lending the film some of its most quotable lines. In the over 30 years since its release, Pulp Fiction has remained a fan favorite with Tarantino's filmography, while also being heavily influenced to independent filmmakers, solidifying it as one of the most essential 90s movies. At number 6 is Terminator 2: Judgment Day, directed by James Cameron. The follow-up to 1984's The Terminator, an already well-regarded film in its own right, Terminator 2: Judgment Day is often viewed as one of the best action films of all time. Picking up years after its predecessor, T2 follows a now-hardened Sarah Connor, Linda Hamilton, as she defends her son, John Edward Furlong, from the murderous T-1000 Robert Patrick, with the help of a pacified T-800 Arnold Schwarzenegger. Terminator 2: Judgment Day was a massive hit at the box office, and for good reason. Schwarzenegger is at his best in the film, effortlessly blasting and quipping his way through each of its memorable action set pieces, but Hamilton is an equally compelling lead, given plenty of time to shine as Sarah. The shape-shifting T-1000 became an iconic villain because of both Patrick's intimidating performance and the incredible special effects work on display, much of which still holds up to this day. Simply said, Terminator 2 is a nearly perfect action film, cementing it as an absolutely essential watch from the 90s. At number 5 is Toy Story, directed by John Lasseter. Centered around Woody, Tom Hanks, a cowboy doll stricken with jealousy when he is seemingly replaced by Buzz Lightyear, Tim Allen, a shiny new astronaut action figure. Toy Story was a huge hit with audiences and critics alike in 1995. Not only was it technologically groundbreaking in being the first animated film created using purely CGI, but it was also a genuinely great movie, winning over kids and their parents with its likable characters and engaging story. To this day, Toy Story continues to be one of the best animated films of all time. The script, while heartfelt and filled with great messages for the entire family, is also genuinely funny, effectively drawing on both Hanks and Alan's backgrounds in comedy. It should also be noted that Toy Story has aged remarkably well visually. Humans look uncanny, as Pixar hadn't quite mastered animating them yet, but Buzz, Woody, and the rest of Andy's John Morris toys still look fantastic, as does the world that they inhabit. The film's influence is also undeniable, as after its release, hand-drawn animation has slowly phased out, only appearing in a few scattered releases here and there. Nowadays, Toy Story's influence and quality make it an absolute must-watch for anyone trying to revisit the 90s. At number 4 is The Matrix, directed by Lana and Lily Wachowski. Following Neo, Keanu Reeves, a man who learns that his entire life has only existed within a simulation before becoming a part of the resistance against its artificial overlords, The Matrix was a huge breath of fresh air for the action genre upon its initial release, showcasing a new and innovative special effects while masterfully integrating elements of gun fu, a style of action choreography originally popularized by John Woo. The film wound up being a huge financial success, heavily influencing where the action genre would go in the future. To this day, the action sequences in The Matrix are exceedingly fun to watch. The fight choreography is consistently entertaining, enhanced by the over-the-top visuals and Reeves' performance, which is frequently cheesy but fitting nonetheless. The film is also notable for cementing Reeves as an action star in the minds of many, opening the door for the John Wick franchise in the future. Future Matrix movies are admittedly a mixed bag, but the original is still a must-watch for its action choreography alone. At number 3 is Titanic, directed by James Cameron. Prior to Titanic, James Cameron had already made quite a name for himself in Hollywood. The director had been on the helm of a number of hits, including Terminator 2 and True Lies earlier in the 90s, but Titanic reached a different level of success entirely. The iconic romance between Jack Dawson, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Rose DeWitt Bukater, Kate Winslet, surprised many by becoming the highest grossing film of its time, a title which would hold on until Cameron would dethrone himself with the release of 2009's Avatar. Perhaps the largest factor contributing to Titanic's success was its core concept. The love story between Jack and Rose is captivating, with DiCaprio and Winslet being perfect in their roles, but setting the story around the well-known tragedy of the Titanic also allows it to be an impressive visual spectacle on par with Cameron's more action-oriented work. The scenes depicting the sinking of the tidal ocean liner are incredibly well done and effectively set the film apart from many of its contemporaries. Admittedly, the film's pacing may not appeal to everyone, but Titanic is still an absolutely essential romance film that everyone should see at least once. At number 2 is Schindler's List, directed by Steven Spielberg. Schindler's List is based on the real-life story of Oskar Schindler, Liam Neeson, a German business person who, during World War II, secretly worked to protect members of the Jewish community from the horrors of the Nazi concentration camps by employing them at his factories. The film is an absolutely heartbreaking depiction of the Holocaust, opening the door for deeper conversations regarding the historical tragedy, making it not just a great movie, but an incredible important one. In all honesty, Schindler's List is a perfect movie. Each and every performance is emotional, entirely convincing, with Neeson doing a brilliant job of showing Schindler's gradual shift from being an apathetic bystander to a man desperate to save as many people as possible. Ralph Fiennes is another highlight as Amon Goth, a Nazi leader without a shred of humanity, save for a single scene where Fiennes gives viewers a peek behind the curtain, only to violently yank it shut once again. Director Steven Spielberg also does some of his best work of his entire career, proving to audiences just how effectively he could tell a more mature story. Shortly after its release, Schindler's List would be winning Best Picture and Best Director at the Academy Awards, earning Spielberg his first Oscars and solidifying it as an absolutely essential 90s watch. Finally, at number 1 is Jurassic Park, directed by Steven Spielberg. The same year that Steven Spielberg released Schindler's List, winning him an Oscar for Best Picture, he also released Jurassic Park, which became the highest-grossing film of its time. Based on the hit Michael Crichton novel of the same name, Jurassic Park follows a group of scientists as they attempt to survive on an island overrun by dinosaurs after a visit to an experimental theme park takes a turn for the worse. A huge factor in Jurassic Park's success was its breathtaking special effects work. Spielberg combines groundbreaking CGI with impressive animatronics from special effects legend Stan Winston to create some truly incredible dinosaurs that dazzled audiences in the 90s and still hold up today. However, while the dinosaurs are a great visual spectacle, the film wouldn't have been a hit that it was without its compelling cast of characters. Alan Grant, Sam Neill was a genuinely great arc where he learns to be better with the kids through working to ensure the safety of young Tim, Joseph Mazzalo, and Lex, Adriana Richards. Murphy Butt, Ellie Sattler, Laura Dern, and Ian Malcolm, Jeff Goldblum are also very likable characters, guaranteeing that the audience is genuinely invested in the survival of the main cast the entire way through. The fact that Jurassic Park is so enjoyable in every aspect makes it the single most essential 90s movie. Alright, there you have it. You guys remember the 90s? This one's coming to us again from Collider.com if you want to check it out. The 10 essential movies of the 90s ranked. What do you think? Did they get it right? Were those your top 10? Was there one that they missed? Let me know in the comment section what your favorite 90s movie was. And if you like these types of videos, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Real easy to find, just my name, Brian Kingsbury. We're currently sitting at 1.14 thousand subscribers with 4.7 thousand videos, so there's plenty for you to watch. Go on up there, hit that subscription button, ring that notification bell, and make these videos a regular part of your day. Here's a quick look at the last 8 videos to go up to the channel. Go on up there, watch a few videos, and if you could do me a big favor right now, give this one a big thumbs up, like this video, help get it in front of a few more eyes, and then go watch a few more. I'm still trying to get to that 4,000 hours so I can monetize my channel, so watching this one to the very end really helps me out. I thank you for watching this one. Hopefully you will subscribe, and we'll talk to you on the next one. Bye.